Welcome everyone to Astrho Live's Partner Showcase. I'm Heidi Henriksen, one of our co-founders. Today we're meeting with GuestSmiles. We have Ted Miller and Drew King joining us to talk a little bit about their platform and what they're providing through RBOs in our industry. Ted and Drew, I'll let you take it away.
Perfect, thanks Heidi. Good to see everybody, and very glad to be able to participate in Astro's demo product showcase. I've sat in on a number of the sessions and there's a lot of great content for members. A little bit about GuestSmiles, our background. We started in 2018 and it was founded by Ron Holcomb. And Ron, very typical of a lot of people in this industry, had a couple vacation homes, had been using Vrbo, had liked them, but when Expedia bought them, did not like the terms and conditions that he was going to have to sign. So called a buddy of his and said, hey, can you create a website for me where my guests can see pictures and my pricing and my availability? And so they went and created a simple website for Ron where he could just upload his information. And then it was a friend of his that built the website. And the next step was the gentleman that built it, Joe, said, hey, you know what, Ron? I had like 3 or 4 other people contact me recently to see if we could do the same thing for them. So roll forward about 6 months, and there was probably about 2,500 homes that were on GuestSmiles. It was all manual, uploaded and put into the system. And it was very key because Ron really likes to have the communication with his guests as a homeowner. And that was one of the fundamental things was, well, I'd like to work with other people, but how can I and still have that control that I have when I work directly with my guests? I joined the team in the end of 2018. I come from being a property manager, owning rental properties similar to Ron, but also working in the software side of things with property managers, working with hundreds of thousands of properties and which were generating billions of dollars in reservations a year. But the key is always broken down to the relationship we had with our guests. And for our clients, being the property management companies, because that's the type of reservation software we created, for them, it was providing that warm and fuzzy experience to their guest. You know, like I've heard in several other sessions, the ability of one of the distinct advantages the self-managers have, like yourselves, is the ability to communicate with your guest and say, hey, if you really like sticky buns, if you go down and talk to Sally on Thursday mornings and mention my name, she'll put a little bit of the extra glazing on top of the sticky buns when they come out of the oven for you, things like that. So our focus has been wanting to really work with property owners and property managers and have them build and help them build great relationships with their guests. And the key with this is being able to provide that communication and several other things that Drew will talk about in a few minutes. We firmly believe that the control of that relationship and of the rental should be with the property owner or the property manager that is managing that property. So that you are like the next part down, you're the merchant of record, so you control all the money. And a lot of the different parts and pieces that you work with, that's what controls the relationship and the rental. And those key parts are really the things that make us different, and also how we reach out to help you get more guests, and also our toolbox, once again, we'll get into in a few minutes. And you can also see the rest of our story on the guestsmiles.com about us page, where the link is here. And this is being recorded, and you can reach out to any of us at any time when you have any questions. But go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, so GuestSmiles, we don't consider ourselves a online travel agency. We believe we're an online marketplace. And like Ted said, our main focus, what's most important to us, is the relationship between you and the guest. So property owners and managers, they own and control the guest relationship. All communication is direct between you and the guest. Like Ted mentioned, you are the merchant of record. You're controlling the flow of money. Those are the most benefits we've kind of already discussed. Other than the distribution channel, GuestSmiles, we've also built the GuestSmiles Toolbox. So this is built specifically for folks who self-manage. Some people who want to save time, save money, be more efficient in managing their own rental. So kind of going down the list, we've partnered with some businesses and different companies in our industry to make the toolbox. So you can kind of think of it like the toolbox in your garage. Some tools you're going to use all the time, some tools just once a year. So one main tool in our toolbox is reservation software, and that's through our partner Logify. So for those who aren't familiar with Logify, it's a reservation system, a management software, to where you can control and manage all of your guest communication, your reservations, your calendars. You're going to have channel management, so you can manage your Airbnb, your VRBO, your Booking.com listings all in one spot. So it's super handy to manage those listings in one spot. Also through Logify, you're going to have your own website. So you're going to have and create your own URL, so you can send guests to your own website to book directly and instantly online. Another tool in our toolbox is TruePlace. So we partner with TruePlace, and they provide professional photography for your property. They can also provide virtual floor plans. Super handy to have. Guests love to go through those floor plans. A lot of our users always comment on how much the guests like to flip through and click through the floor plan of the property, so it's super handy. So we provide access and a discount to TruePlace. Another tool in our toolbox is Breezeway, and I think they presented today or yesterday by chance. So y'all probably already heard about them, but if you haven't, they're a communication platform for your cleaners and maintenance workers. So you can get all sorts of updates from your cleaners. You can verify work. You can automate a lot of their work. So it's a super handy tool, Breezeway is. Another one of our partners and tools in the toolbox is each user of the toolbox gets a business membership to House. And Ted can touch on the House membership that comes with the toolbox.
Yeah, and with House, what we're trying to do with the toolbox is different homeowners have different pain points. I really have a challenge with this or with that, and the concept with the toolbox is just like Drew's saying, tools that are in it, you use some all the time, some you'll never use, and some you're going to use. You can't believe the opportunities there. And much like with Key Data and Breezeway, you saw they're both Jason and Matt from the two different companies did great jobs of presenting the tools and how they operate things. House is a little different. So what we did with House is we wanted to find an online source for a lot of the stuff that you're going to buy for the home, but just not another Overstock or Mayfair or so on and so forth. So we partnered with House, and what we're able to do with House is be able to put together what we call curated content or idea books. So if you own a home in Destin or the Rocky Mountains or the Pacific Northwest, you can go into the section where we've put together with House and see houses and accessories and furniture and things that are put together designed to fit within those different markets to give you ideas. You can also create your own idea books for your own house. What's really neat is all the things that are in these idea books you can purchase from House. And they do have direct programs, but what's nice is through us, you have access as an individual homeowner to their business platform, which mainly has the best discounts available through House, but also you're part of the House. Every time you make a purchase, you get loyalty points, which can then be used for more purchases in the future. So once again, that goal is with a lot of the tools in the toolbox is that ability to have things, or in this case with House, if you were just to buy a new house and said, well, what am I going to put in it for furniture? You could do the whole house from this relationship. They also have local delivery services, so the arranging and the setting up and things like that can also be part of it, especially for a lot of you or a lot of us that have properties elsewhere where we don't live, and it's not convenient to go meet the mover when they're bringing in the new couch. And just to finish up this slide, everything that we offer, and this gets back where we think we're also a bit different. We did not try to create these tools in a toolbox because a lot of the companies that we work with are best of breed people I've worked with for years in the industry. And they do such a good job, it'd be silly for us to try to replicate what they do. So it's assembling these tools. But then the question is, well, who do I have to call if I have a question about this? I have a question about that. Well, simple. You simply contact us and we'll support all the tools that you're using directly. So you never have to worry about that side of things. Or, hey, we've had a few people that work with some of these tools that have said, hey, you know, can I get a membership to the Toolbox? I've already got this tool, but can you work with me to help set it up the way I want it to be set up? And that's the support and the onboarding and the relationship that we provide is really one of the key ingredients of the Toolbox. Yep. And Drew, anything else to add on that slide, Drew?
Nope, nailed it.
Perfect. Vertical partners. This is really where we are different than pretty much everybody else I've run across. And one of the reasons why I got involved and got excited. So we do have GuestSmiles.com. We have no delusion of it being a competitor directly against Vrbo or Booking.com or Airbnb. We don't have the skill set and not necessarily where we want to put our money to try to build that business. And this is something that I've been trying to work on even before GuestSmiles, is there's so many unique websites that are out there. For example, here, we'll use Tennessee Homemade Wines for example. All of our clients that work in the Gatlinburg area and Pigeon Forge, a lot of them love Tennessee Homemade Wines. They have a great following. They do local events. And lo and behold, at their local events, people would like to book vacation rentals with them. Well, so what we've done is we're putting together our vertical partner program. So somebody like Tennessee Made Wines, we can provide them a simple booking engine that they can customize so it looks and feels like their website. And when their guests go to their website, they can then book one of the vacation rental units of our clients in that area. We take care of all the technology, we take care of the commissions, we take care of the commissions that we share with them. So we make it super easy for our clients and for our vertical partners. The vertical partner we've launched with first is Home2Go. With Home2Go, they consume our outbound API. And with Home2Go, they are a competitor to say the Vrbos of the world and things like that. The difference is with some of these more regional ones is that's what we consider the long tail of the internet. So if you look at, once we build out our vertical partners, if we had 100 and if each one of them spends 10,000 a month driving traffic, and you've got the benefit of all that traffic from those 100 sites, assuming that the properties are, obviously they're going to be geographically limited. And it just makes it really easy. So our goal is to get as many vertical partners that we can. And a lot of the ideas for the vertical partners come from our clients. Saying, hey, you know what? Ted's hot dog stand down the road. I scratch my head every month, but some reason he's getting 25,000 visitors a month to his website. And I'd like my properties to be on his website. Well, we can take care of that by working directly with Ted after doing a referral, just because it's nice to have a personal connection when you start talking with the new people. So we've just launched a vertical partner in the last month. The white label booking engine that I first described is going to be launched once again in about a month. So we're still in the very, very beginning of this, but Home2Go is driving some nice reservations to our clients. And the last thing about the vertical partners are, some of them do require higher commissions, and there's nothing we can do about it. When you sign up and get with our GuestSmiles Toolbox, there's a cost per property. If you have just one property, it's $384 a year. And there are no commissions from anything booked on GuestSmiles.com or any of our vertical partners that share in our main program that don't have additional cost. But ones that do, what we have the ability of doing is adding that cost onto the top of the rent that comes from your system, from your PMS system, and it's paid by the guest. You're the merchant of record, so you collect everything. And then when we invoice, that extra that needs to go to that particular vertical partner, we'll collect and then pay to the vertical partner. So no headaches on your side, but it's just a neat way of what you expect to net is what you're going to net on every reservation within our system. And with all of our vertical partners, just like on GuestSmiles, it's your rental agreement that applies. It's your terms and conditions that apply. The direct relationship between you and the guest, the merchant of record, those apply to all the vertical partners that we'll be working with within our channel. So we're really excited about this. And this really is what makes us unique if our approach is working with this long tail of the internet. Go ahead, Drew.
Yep. So going back to another tool in the toolbox, like we discussed earlier, was Logify. So this is, I don't know how much time we have left, but these are just some quick screenshots of Logify. So over on the right-hand side, you can see some channel management there. So you got all your different reservations among the different sites. So you can see a quick snippet there. And we can do a demo with anyone who wants to see the ins and outs of this too. So let's see. Okay, got the time, thanks. And here's a quick pricing comparison. So our pricing matches up identical with Logify. So you can either go to Logify directly and just simply get Logify, or for the same price, you can come to the GuestSmiles Toolbox and get Logify and all the other tools in the toolbox. So this is just a quick comparison of all that. And last slide here, we're doing a promo for all Astrho members. So if you sign up between now and July 17th, first year is going to be free on us. So really cool, really awesome promo there to take advantage of. And that is all we have. So really appreciate you all having us. We'll take any questions.
Go ahead, Heidi.
That's fantastic. Yeah, thank you guys for that amazing, generous discount for Astrho members as a great perk and benefit for 1 year free. I wondered what's the best way as far as redemption for us to share that with our premier host?
You can, whatever the best method is, as many ways and touch points as you can, Heidi.
Okay, so maybe we'll put your emails for those members to reach out directly for
Perfect.
redemption.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And Drew would be
much.
the best. Drew would be the best contact point. So either the email or phone numbers are fine.
Yep, either one. And yeah, sorry I'm so dark. I'm gonna get a light for next time.
No problem. No worries. I did want to ask, I don't think we have any questions yet, but feel free to chime in from our audience. And I was curious, you mentioned a little bit about channel distribution. Do you have, maybe we could go back to that slide, or you could speak to which channels people can distribute on directly when they work with GuestSmiles.
So there's a couple spots. When you sign up for GuestSmiles, if you get the Logify reservation system, then they have direct connectivity to Airbnb, Booking.com, Vrbo. So from that one location, much like in some of the other sessions, and when we did the monthly tech tips and know-how for the tech course for Astrho members, having that centralized. But so any of the major booking channels can all be done directly from that software. As far as channels that are available through our vertical partnership, what we have is we have 3 different ways that people can participate. Our clients, being the self-managers or the property managers, they can decide where their properties are to be listed. Obviously, we will not list properties wherever they don't geographically make sense. But we also have the ability where some people say, well, you know what, since I'm going to net the same amount of money, GuestSmiles, please take care of it for me. Put it on as many sites as I can, because they already know that the merchant of record and all their things apply. So there's really no downside for us to manage that for them as we build out new vertical partners. So as far as the channels that you can do today without the reservation software, then it would be Home to Go is our current vertical partner that's live. It's been live for about a month, and that's our outbound API. These other 4 should be live in about a month when we roll out the new the new white label booking engine.
Okay, perfect. That helps.
And I should say one thing is that we do require that people that work with us to have a reservation software package, because whatever you manage, whatever you use for your managing your availability, what we like to do is have that be the database of authority. So in other words, it always checks back to whatever calendar you use as your primary calendar to be sure that the rental is still available. Once again, our clients being the ones that are fully in control of the reservations. And whether they have owner confirmation, hey, I want to talk to everybody first, or just let them book automatically. So I just wanted to point that out as well.
Sure. So if somebody was just using, let's say, an iCal to connect all of their calendars, that's not quite robust enough. They would need to be with more of a software platform.
Correct. I can envision us doing the iCal at some point, but we don't have it today. We are connected to Logify. We will be connecting to OwnerRez in the near future.
Okay. Yeah, those are two great partners that we also have worked with a lot. And I know you mentioned Rentals United, I believe. Is there any others we should make sure we call out so that people know which ones are?
Well, as far as we work with the majority of them of the property managers. Streamline, we have a direct connection to. Escapee should be done here shortly. We also have a connection with NextPax, which allows us to work with a number of different softwares. They're a channel manager for a number of different software vendors.
Okay, so somebody can reach out to you, either you or Drew, to get a little more info to see who they're working with currently. If they didn't hear on that list, they can find out for sure.
And also who we should put in our pipeline for connecting to next.
Yes, definitely. Well, I really appreciate your time today. We're so glad you were able to join us. You answered a lot of questions, and thank you so much for being here. It's great to hear from GuestSmiles.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks.